Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. I had a comment come up in my Facebook feed and it was quite interesting because it was someone from overseas asking why we chose Philippines and what's so good about staying here. And there was a lot of people talking about different things like having a young girlfriend or the money, the cost, things like that. And I put up my little story about how I'd met my wife 10 years ago. Now, long story short, I put my story up there of meeting Emma 10 years ago, how she'd spoken about the Philippines. I'd never really thought about coming to Philippines. My uncle's friend had told me about Philippines and said I'd love it here, and I do, I got to admit. But the story that I put onto Facebook was that I'd met my wife online. She'd been in Australia. I actually met her in Australia. We were married around about 3 years after we met. She brought me to Philippines pretty much 1 year after we met, and I loved it here. 3 years later we were married, and then 3 years later we actually live here, which was incredible. I mean, it was an incredible leap to go from meeting someone, traveling the world, and then actually picking somewhere else to live. And it was really cool, and I got a lot of really positive comments, people saying that it was a really nice story, which, I've got to say, I think it is a good story for me. It's a good story for my wife. We've done a whole lot in a small amount of time. So in saying all of that, it actually stuck in my head the comment that he made, why did we choose Philippines? And I've actually been thinking about it for around about a week, and I realized what it was. The Philippines is a wonderful country. When you're young, you think about island paradises and you think about these adventures that you can go on. If you think about it, look at my cousin Todd's videos. He's been adventuring. The guy's in his 50s and he's still adventuring all around Laos. And it kind of made me think, that's what I'm doing too. So we've come all the way out to Ballylehan Waterfalls. It's absolutely amazing, and we're going to go down there. It's a bit of a walk, but it's really worth it. It's beautiful to go swimming down here, and it's a long falls. It's a bit of a journey.
Last time we went here, it was dry.
It was dry, mate. Did you come here? Oh, okay. So now we have to go down there. This will be very exciting. Kind of. It's a bit slippery and rainy. Oh God, imagine if it rains. When you're a kid, when we were kids, we had grandparents living up in the Newcastle area in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales in Australia. One lived kind of out west of Newcastle, and it was more rugged and the red dust and sort of scraggly plants and things, a little bit more outback. Where my other grandmother lived on my mum's side, at the back of their house was a large forest. I mean, it seemed like a large forest, but there was a large forest and this raging river, which turns out to be just a small creek. When you're kids, everything's really big. And we used to go adventuring, and we'd make up all these stories about pirates and beaches and buried treasure and going around. There was one time when Todd, my cousin, my brother, David, we'd built a corrugated iron canoe and went swimming in these rock pools. And of course, the canoe sank and we got soaked, but that was all part of the adventure. And I was realizing that when you're at Cumugao Falls and the walk that you have to make down to the Camugao Falls, you walk all the way down, and it's slippery and it's muddy, and you've got these bamboo poles and these stone steps that have been placed there. And what you actually find is, at my age, I'm still on that adventure. And it's not about being young. It's not about trying to be, recapture your youth or anything like that. It's more about the fact that we're at an age now when we can actually do these things for real. We're on an adventure on a tropical island paradise and we're loving it. So you're walking down to Camugao Falls is amazing because we've sort of in our minds already been to places like this and now we can actually do it. So the wonderful thing about being an adult is all of those adventures, if you want to, you can actually go and do. We've been on so many adventures, waterfalls, rivers, caves, all of these countries that I've been to, and it is all part of the adventure. Why do I live in the Philippines? Not because it makes me feel young, but because of the adventure. It's exciting, it's interesting. Not saying that we can't do that in Australia. I've got to tell you, there's a lot to do over in Australia, but we're somewhere else. When you're looking around, you're somewhere else, and this is amazing. It's extraordinary to think that I'm actually on my own island adventure. I have a family, I have children, and most of my family has been here as well. And most of my family from Australia have been here as well, and they all just love it. Now in Newcastle I lived not very far, maybe 30 minutes drive from the beach, and we really went there. I now live 300 meters from the beach and I'm down there most days. Think about it when you were a kid, the jungle adventures. You would go out even in the backyard and you'd talk about hacking through the jungles and there being wild animals and, you know, it raining and you're getting wet, and all of this was in your mind. Going to places like Cumugao Falls or the rivers that we've been to or some of the caves is exactly the same thing, but in real life. I love it. And if you look at my cousin Todd's adventures as well, oh my God, the idea that he can drive to all those places and do all the things he can do. And most of my adventures, guys, have been just on these two islands, Camugao and Bohol. It's incredible. And so this is why we're down here. Look at that. And the water's freaking cold too. So we're down here at the bottom, the water's cold. I'm going to put the drone up over the top of that. Should be great. But we're definitely having a swim. This is my friend Will being a lounge lister. Look at this, look how comfy. He's like, it's like a model. Look at that in the background. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, work it, come on. Do still, come on, come on. Yeah. Woohoo! Yay! Just go away, I can take a shot out of it. Yeah!
Are you jumping next?
Nothing.
What?
You go, go.
Why are you not jumping?
Well done. Hey?
Are you scared?
No, I can jump there, but I don't want to. Go, 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 go. This is our niece Lorena. Lorena pissed off the weather gods one day. And every time we go out on a trip, this is true. This is true. Every time we take Lorena somewhere, it rains and there's cloud, and every time, look at that face. Yeah. We've just had a nice big feed of chicken and tortillas from my friends. They have their own little tortilla business. And here we are. Going back in the water because it's bloody beautiful. This place is amazing. It's usually a touristy, very touristy thing. There may or may not be a sign at the gate saying please do not come in because of various reasons. But alright, tell our friends, what do you think? Is it a good spot?
Yeah!
Yeah? What are you going to say to them?
Hello! We're in the pool!
weather's looking a bit nasty, and we're going to head back. So you can see the crew walking through the rivers on the way. I mean, this is really a great spot. It's nice, it's peaceful. It's starting to rain, but you know, other than all of that, you can't get a better spot. I mean, look at this behind me. Beautiful. We got the water so fresh coming out of the spring that you can drink it. Lorena,
You better not touch it. You're gonna chase us.
is that wasps or bees?
What?
Yeah, don't touch that. That's not good. So how's this? Since walking back up from the waterfall, it's poured down raining, it was misty, then it was sunny, and then it rained again, and now look at it, it's freaking beautiful. Philippines.